on November 15th, 2001. The original Xbox just launched here in the US, and there were 3 highly anticipated launch titles: Project Gotham Racing, Dead or Alive 3, and Halo Combat Evolved. Halo CE took the gaming industry by storm thanks to its advanced AI, attention to detail, unique music, and its memorable main character, the Master Chief. The series quickly became the new face of the Xbox overnight. Thanks to the success of the original Halo, Microsoft didn't waste any time to invest money into the series, which in turn gave the community 14 games, 29 novels, 10 graphic novels, and 3 films as of today. But the reason I'm making this review video isn't for the games, films, or comic books. This is about one book, and that book is Halo Silent Storm, a Master Chief story. Already, this book is sporting a new look for the beloved main character of the Halo series, with a brand new variation of his armor never shown in other types of media before this one. The author of the novel is Troy Denning. Now, Troy Denning is no stranger to the sci-fi and fantasy genre, as he has written 46 titles as of 2020. He has not just written for Halo, but has also written several Star Wars novels as well as Dungeons & Dragons, including a couple of his own original titles. Now, this is probably one of the longest, if not the longest books I have ever read, the closest I think being Ready Player One. This novel has exactly 400 pages, no more, no less. The year is 2526. It's been a whole year since humanity has had first contact with the alien military alliance called the Covenant. Ever since the Covenant attack on Harvest, the United Nations Space Command has been leading an open war with this new threat to all of humanity. The UNSC has 2 certainties of this new threat: their determination to eradicate all human life and their superior technology. The only hope that humanity has is with the Spartans, enhanced super soldiers that were raised and trained from their early childhood. Petty Officer John 117 has been assigned to lead a group of his fellow Spartans on a counterattack that will hopefully push the Covenant back on their knees and help buy the time the UNSC needs to gather intelligence and prepare defenses against this new enemy. A group of insurrectionists that wish to break away and gain their freedom from the unified Earth government believe that they can make an alliance with the Covenant. So they send a sleeper agent to sabotage the counterattack and to make sure John 117 and his fellow Spartans never return from the battle. After that, you still have to last through proximity operations, then sneak aboard and capture a 500-meter ship full of LGMs. This quote doesn't seem like much, but as long as this series has been going on, I've never found a reference to the aliens ever being called little green men. I like this quote because it's a nice homage to the way humans used to display aliens in so-called movies, comic books, or just regular books. The decision continued to haunt John in his dreams, and that troubled him. He had seen many soldiers die, both in training and in combat, and suffered no self-doubt, but Sam had been under his command, and John could not help believing that if he had been better prepared, not so quite reckless, his friend would be fighting at his side today. This quote means a lot for a character like John. In the games, he was mostly a silent protagonist, only speaking a very few times in them. He also acted like a robot and not very human-like. He very rarely showed emotion. Now to see self-doubt from a character always shown to never let anything get to him, to see human emotion from him, personally makes me feel like he is more of a character than just someone you play as in the games. This is a desperate mission, there's no denying it, but the UNSC needs time to develop effective countermeasures against the Covenant technology, and it's your job to buy that time. You need to make the alien commanders afraid of us. You need to convince them that humans are crazy, that anytime a Covenant fleet outruns its support or fails to consolidate its advances, we will find a way to make it pay. I like this quote so much because of the desperation that the UNSC commander has when he is giving out this order, because of the new enemy that they have to face and they know nothing about. I personally really enjoyed this book because I've never really had the chance to read into the expanded Halo universe as I have done for other series. So it was nice to see something that was never mentioned in the games, and it's always nice to see a character that I've been around for years to be a more human-like character instead of a character that I would take control of and play as him. I would say if you aren't the biggest fan of sci-fi, aliens, or just war stories, this book just flat out won't be for you. But for people that aren't new to the Halo series or have just been looking for a brand new book that has those 3 things I just mentioned, and the book has caught your interest, I highly recommend you give this book a read. It doesn't waste your time. It's a very good read. That's coming from someone who doesn't read books a lot. Oh God.